Yeah.
Can you just talk about that first quarter? Lisa Thompson, 7 points in that quarter, down 25-19 after the first there.
Yeah. Well, I thought we came out and played the way we wanted to play in terms of we wanted to put the pressure on them. The first quarter was pretty good. Lisa, got into her mid-range game, got into her pull-up game. Destiny getting in foul trouble is significant for us. And, we don't have her the whole second quarter, but, when we're out there and we're fresh and, we're pushing tempo and playing the way that we want to play. Regardless of the outcome, as we're building this program, we're going to play the style of basketball that our fans can expect to play, our players can get used to playing, and as we get more experience, we'll be on the other end of some of these outcomes.
Coach, obviously a special atmosphere in the building tonight. I'm just curious from your perspective what it was like to coach in this game, and also if you talk to the players about, someday making this more common here.
Oh, absolutely. We talked to the team before the game, and this is why you come to Rutgers, right? This is why I would leave my alma mater as a coach to come here, is to be in these moments and to be in this environment. There's not a lot of places that can do what we did tonight in terms of fill a building, have the energy, have the celebrity row, so to speak, and having people want to be a part of this. So as we continue to work on building our culture and building our program, this is the type of atmosphere that we're going to expect to have regularly. So it was great for our players to see it and experience, especially our young players, our freshmen, Lisa, Jill. For those young players to be here and experience that tonight, it just gets them excited about the future of Rutgers women's basketball.
Coach, talk about the challenge going up against a player as good as Caitlin and also a team as good as Iowa, and what you can take from that as far as building your program and saying, hey, look, maybe we're not there yet, but these are the positive steps we can take to get closer to that level.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that makes Iowa such a dynamic team is the way that her Caitlin's teammates play with her and around her. It's pretty special when you have teammates who understand how to allow generational talent and incredible player to be herself and to make you better and to play within the framework that makes everybody at their best. And her teammates do a great job of that. Coach Bluter does a fantastic job of getting everybody to embrace and buy into their roles. And I think that more than anything in terms of style of play or anything like that is it's a great lesson in teamwork. And it's a great lesson in how together everybody can achieve more. Because individually, those parts may not be able to sustain by themselves, but together, the way they play together, they are tough. They are really tough, and it's just, again, a really good testament on what teamwork and connection and playing and chemistry, playing together, how special that can be.
Philadelphia Inquirer. Thinking about the defensive side, too, for your team, Iowa is certainly a known quantity. Every team in the Big Ten is a known quantity. There's ample film on everybody. But when you sit down with your players and try to scheme out what you want to do, can you take us a little bit inside that? And also whether the Michigan State game that Iowa played where Clark hit the buzzer beater and they dropped off for a beat, if that, and she nailed them, if that was a lesson to your players to say, this is the level you have to be at to.
Well, I think the first thing, when you talk about defending Iowa, it's transition defense because they push the ball so fast. They run really hard. And then when you have Tom Brady at the point guard position who can, pinpoint passes, she made a couple of transition rim run passes that, were just, right there. you have that kind of quarterback on your team, it makes things that much more difficult. So you start with transition offense, and then all 5 players on the court, well, especially all their 4 perimeter players, do a really good job of getting downhill and attacking the basket, and they shoot the 3 ball so well that you have to guard. And so they do a great job of maximizing space. They space you out, and then they attack gaps, and they're really good at attacking those gaps, and they're really good at finding each other. So it's a tough matchup, and sometimes you just gotta hope that they're not making shots, and then you can take advantage of them missing, and they didn't miss a whole lot tonight.
Hey, Coach. Tonight it appeared throughout the game you guys weren't too happy with some of the calls, including yourself a little bit. Destiny, again, you mentioned getting 3 in the first half. How did that specifically affect the rotations and just the overall game?
Yeah, well, Destiny is important. She's a really important piece to what we do. She gives us the opportunity to have a balanced attack on inside, outside. So her getting in foul trouble, she's, one of our toughest defenders. She's one of our better rebounders. So when you don't have her on the floor for, a quarter of the game or more, that's a big presence that's missed. She also gets our transition game going because she rebounds and she runs and she can push the ball. So that's a big part of what we're missing. And so we've got to learn how to, when we get 1 or 2 fouls, we've got to learn how to adjust our intensity, and the other thing is we've got to get better with our defensive foundation, containing the ball, not reaching in and getting some of the the reach in fouls. At the same time, Iowa plays at such a fast pace offensively that when you've got a lot of young players or young guards out there, it's they got to go through it. They have to go through it and understand how fast the rotations and how fast things happen.
Coach, 51 rebounds for Iowa. What do you think went wrong for your team on the boards tonight?
We missed a lot of shots, so they had an opportunity to get a lot of rebounds. So, I think off the offensive rebounds weren't very far. I think they had 12 to our 9 or something like that. But, we missed a lot of shots, and they were able to get a lot of defensive rebounds. And that's where that disparity comes from.
Hi, Coach. Just curious what it means to have Coach Stringer here tonight, and also if you can speak to the impact she had on women's college basketball as a whole.
Yeah, Coach Stringer is, definitely, a legend in our game. Her perseverance, from the breadth of her career and all that she has accomplished, from taking 3 different teams to the Final Four and being a trailblazer as a woman, but also being a trailblazer as a black woman in this profession. Definitely is something that I appreciate and I look at often because her name is her picture is in our practice gym, so I see her every day. And so I get a chance to be inspired by her, and it was really, really special for me to be here tonight and coach tonight with Coach Stringer and Coach Grintz in the building. They mean so much to this program, and both of them have been friends and mentors for me throughout my career. So it was a special moment for me to be able to coach in this environment on this day with both of them in the building, cheering our program on and cheering me on. So it was a special day for me personally.
Hey, Coach. You've talked tonight about growth, building the program.
Yeah.
Your team better than anyone else. What areas throughout the season do you think you've seen the most growth and improvement out of your team, and where would you like to see them keep growing and improving?
Well, I'd like to see us keep growing from a consistency standpoint, but I am happy to see us playing the pace that we want to play. The more that we do that, the more that we will get accustomed to being able to make shots, being able to defend at that pace, being able to do all the things that we want to do on both ends. But we have to establish that this is how we're going to play, win, lose, or draw. We're going to play a certain way. And we're going to get better at it night in and night out, and starting to see, since we've come back from Christmas, 3 games where we're playing the style of basketball that we want to play. And now we got to tighten up some things and get better at it. But that's one thing that I've been pleased to see.
Hello, Coach.
Hi.
Tonight, while on offense,
Can you speak up a little bit, please?
yes, tonight while on offense, it seemed as though there was more like thinking involved. When I'm usually used to witnessing more of like a seamless effort amongst the team. Was anything that was different for tonight?
I think it was the pace that we were playing at. I think, and when I say the pace that Iowa makes you play at, sometimes it's like, oh, it's going faster than maybe a freshman is ready for. And, when you got pretty much our entire backcourt, Lisa, Jill, and Maya, they don't have a whole lot of experience, and this is their first time playing against an Iowa team at that pace. You're absolutely right. There was a whole lot of, what am I supposed to be doing now? So, but we'll get better from it, and the more you play these type of games, this is Big Ten basketball, right? And now we're getting ready to go play at Ohio State, and they're gonna press the whole time, and that's gonna be, my heads are gonna explode from that. So, it's just Big Ten basketball, and it's fun. It is fun, and it is exciting. And as a competitor, these are the games that you want to play. You play top 3 team in the country, and then now we're going to Ohio State and playing another top 20 team, and I don't even know who we play after that, but probably another top 20 team. And you just learn by being in the gauntlet of Big Ten basketball that you got to bring it every day. You got to have a short memory. In the game, you got to have a short memory. Game to game, you have to have a short memory, and be ready to compete. And that's what we're teaching our team to do.
A big picture question about the TV contract this week, and I was curious if what your reaction to that was, and how much do you think that is because of what Caitlin's been able to do, and what does it say about the growth of the sport in general?
I definitely think it's a testament to what Caitlin has brought to the game, but I also think it is also reflective of a long-term growth of this game. Going back, it's like we build layers and build layers, and you keep fighting as a profession of women's basketball. We keep fighting for the recognition. We keep fighting for the opportunity, right, to be respected as a profitable enterprise. We have been coaches. I mean, I say we have, as coaches, have been saying this game has monetary value for years, and so that didn't just pop up after one good Final Four. That's been here for a while, and it's just now, men are starting to realize that this game is worth money. So, and I'm married, and so sometimes you have to wait for men to catch up. Do not print that. I'm just joking. I do not need listen, that's joking. It's just a joke, please. That's a joke, people. All right. But seriously, it is about, I would say it is about the media, recognizing the value and of women's sports in general, women's basketball in particular. There are a lot of women who are a draw. So when you look at commercials, it's not just one player. There's a lot of women athletes who are now commanding the room when it comes to commercials and endorsements and all that kind of stuff. So it's great to now see that the NCAA is recognizing the value of women's basketball, and what that means going forward. And I think, the next step is units, right? The next step is for us to really, get those units and have that investment come back to the campuses. So, I was absolutely thrilled to see the NCAA step up in that fashion. And make no mistake, I think as coaches in this profession, we're going to keep demanding our fair share, and that we continue to be respected for the value that we bring to college sports.
Coach, it felt like tonight tonight's game for you guys was really about finding a way as a collective. You used 8 players. 5 of them were in double figures, essentially at the halfway point of the season. How do you feel this team stands from a chemistry standpoint?
I think our chemistry is growing every game. We've had a crazy year. Like last year, it was like the basketball gods smiled on us, and we had no injuries, we had no disruptions, everything. And this year, we've had all kinds of disruptions to our chemistry. Getting all the pieces together, and so that's been hard for us to get consistent and get our chemistry where we want it to be. So I think it's going to still continue to be a work in progress as we get through January and February in Big Ten play. But hopefully, week by week we continue to get solid with our unit and our rotation, and the chemistry can grow.
We have time for 2 more, guys.
What's happening, Mel?
We've seen a lot of players over the years, and we've heard comments elsewhere. You feel at times, because there are times that Caitlin does stuff that we've never seen before. Do you sometimes find it hard when you're coaching, just as a basketball fan, and she's making a player somewhere against that you suddenly just stop dead, just in admiration for what she did?
I don't think that happens when I'm coaching, Mel. After I go back and watch the game, I might be like, did she just do that? But there's certainly some times out there, when I think that, the phrase is watching genius at work, right? Sometimes that is just it can be a surreal experience to watch genius at work, to watch excellence at work. And certainly, when you coach against Caitlin Clark, you're watching genius at work. She is an amazing player. And it is the actual skill. But again, I go to the teamwork aspect and the energy that's out there with her and her teammates that is really unusual, and I think you see it at times with certain teams like, the Golden State Warriors in their championship. There's a synergy out there that you don't always see, even with really good teams. And so that's what makes it fun to coach against her and to watch her do her thing, is because it really is like watching a genius at work in real time. And to have that experience is an amazing thing to be able to go through.
Do you have any updates on Smichael?
Yeah, Smichael is dealing with a medical issue, and because of HIPAA laws, I'm not really at liberty to go into detail with it. So she's day to day, game to game, and when she's better, she'll be back. So I won't really have any more updates because it's, like I said, medical stuff you can't really talk about, but she's dealing with a medical issue, and so she'll be back when she's healthy.
Just one last one. I know at Big Ten Media Days you mentioned you actually live with the Clark fan. Was your daughter able to come tonight, and what's that been like?
She was, and she's walking home. So if you guys see her on the way, she'll be the one with the thumb. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.